Good morning, team. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, and we are going to go on a virtual field trip to examine the coral reefs. Don't forget to complete your Hello Morning survey. Remember, this is a really important tool that we use at school. So if you have not done it, I want you to pause the video and go complete your Hello Morning survey now. Thanks, team. Let's jump into our science and COVID 19 facts of the day. So, a lot of you may be wondering, or people that you know around you are wondering, like, how do I know if I have coronavirus or some other symptom or some other illness or disease? Okay. Right now, the coronavirus has been around for a little while, and so have the other diseases and illnesses that we were dealing with before this happened. So I found a couple of checklists that I thought might be helpful for you to be able to differentiate or tell the difference between these things. So here's the first one, okay? Do I have coronavirus or do I have something else? If you are experiencing itchy eyes, stuffy nose, or sneezing, it's probably just a cold or allergies, okay? Texas, especially in Austin, there are lots of allergens or things that cause people to have allergies in the air, like cedar and other kind of things that kind of float around and they can bother our um, nasal passages and our eyes. So we may experience itchy eyes, stuffy nose, and sneezing, probably just a cold, okay? Now, if you have a fever, if you have fatigue, which means that you feel really, really tired, body aches, cough, or symptoms that are getting worse, you may have the flu or coronavirus. The ways that you can really tell that if you have coronavirus are, first of all, you have shortness of breath. So this means that you're like, it's hard for you to breathe, okay? If you've actually traveled out of the country or have been around somebody who has tested positive for coronavirus or has been exposed themselves, okay? I thought this one was really helpful, just the way that these symptoms were mapped out. So the first question that you want to ask yourself is, do you have a fever? Okay. If you don't have a fever, you probably don't have the coronavirus. Okay. Next, do you have itchy eyes? If you have itchy eyes, just like we already talked about, you probably have allergies. Okay. Or you may have allergies. If you don't have itchy eyes, you may have like the common cold. Okay. These are things that you can just take some at home medication for. Your parents probably have some medicine that you can ask your mom or dad to get for you at home if you have any of these symptoms, okay? Now, if you do have a fever, you want to check over here, okay? And the big way that you can differentiate or tell the difference is that if you have the shortness of breath, which means that it's kind of hard for you to breathe. If you don't have shortness of breath, you may have the flu, okay? And this is something that the doctors would be able to test you for. If you do have shortness of breath, you may have coronavirus. Now, keep in mind that we've been hearing a lot of information that symptoms can vary from person to person, just like any other illness, okay? But with everything that's going on right now, if you start to feel sick for any reason, you could start to feel really, really worried, okay? So I thought that this was a helpful tool to try to see, like, is this something that is this actually a symptom of coronavirus or not, okay? Now, I want you to go to Google Classroom and answer this question. Right now, there are about 849,000 cases in the United States, and about 84,000 people have actually had the coronavirus and recovered from it. Okay. I want to know, I'm curious, do you actually know anyone who has tested positive for COVID 19? Okay. I do know someone. I have not been in contact with that person, but I do know someone who has tested positive for COVID 19. And I actually have some friends who have relatives who have also tested positive for COVID 19. So, as COVID 19 continues to grow in number of cases continue to grow, it will become more common for you to actually know somebody who has it, okay? And it's not severe for everyone that gets it, okay? So keep that in mind as well. But I'm just curious out of you guys if you actually know anyone who has tested positive. So go ahead and I'm going to give you 1 minute. I want you to go to Google Classroom and answer that question. Thanks, team. Today we're going to take a virtual field trip to the Bahamas to examine coral reefs there. So we are going to examine the Bahamian coral reef to identify trophic levels and adaptations of organisms in the ecosystem. So up to this point, we've learned a lot about ecosystems and you've learned a lot about adaptations from Miss Janice. Today you're going to watch a video and go on a virtual field trip to combine those ideas together. So let's take a look at what it looks like. When you go into the screen, it's going to look like this. This is going to be the first screen, and what it tells you is that you're going to have to do different things on different screens of the presentation, okay? So first of all, if you see a keyboard like this, that means you're going to have to double click and type in. So this is the first screen. I'm going to double click and I'm going to type my name. Then you're going to go to the next screen. This tells me what is a coral reef. Here, I just need to read. Okay, coral reefs are one of the most diverse ecosystems on the planet. Approximately 25% of the fish found in the ocean rely on the coral polyp systems for shelter, food, and nesting grounds. The coral reefs also provide coastline protection from storm weathering, economic benefits, jobs, medicine, and food for humans around the world. Awesome. The next slide, you're actually going to watch this video.
Must have at least a 5.5.
Oh, I was already watching it. So.
Let's hop on over to the Indo-Pacific.
Okay, so I'm going to watch the video, and then here I'm going to have to click and drag these. So as I find these different reefs, I'm just going to drag the arrow to the check boxes. Okay, as I go then. When I go to the next slide, there's like a quick little 5-minute video that I'm going to watch there. Then I have some questions, okay? On these slides where it asks you to read the question and answer the check answer, you don't actually have to do anything here, okay? But you just say like A, B, or C, and then you can check yourself on the next slide and it will help clarify any confusion that you have there, okay? Now, after you go through those, there's going to be a couple of written responses. So here you're going to have to actually double click in there, erase this, and type in your answer. When you're done, you're going to turn it in Google Classroom, and you'll be done for the day. So when I say go, you're going to open the classwork labeled Virtual Field Trip Coral Reefs. You're going to watch the included videos to explore the coral reefs, and you're going to use the prompts provided on each screen to answer the questions. Turn it in Google Classroom, and you're done. If you have any questions, here's my email and my phone number. I look forward to reading your responses, and have a great day. Thanks, team.